welcome to Taiwandering with Jason. I only have a few weeks left before I make my move to Taiwan, and I'm trying to complete a bucket list of things I want to do before I leave, things that I'm going to miss about Chicago. Now, one of the things I'm really going to miss is watching Major League Baseball games, specifically watching games at Wrigley Field. As you can tell, I am a very, very big Chicago Cubs fan, and there's nothing I enjoy more than going to Wrigley Field with my friends on a nice summer day and watching the Chicago Cubs play. Unfortunately, with COVID, the season was postponed until this week. So to celebrate the reopening of Major League Baseball, I'm doing an episode where I interview my friends. Some of them are Cubs fans, some of them are White Sox fans. We're going to talk about how we became fans of our respective teams. We'll discuss some of our favorite memories, where we were when our teams won the World Series in 2005 and 2016, and also talk about our feelings on the opposing team. So sit back and relax, grab some peanuts and Cracker Jacks, a hot dog, and let's enjoy this episode on baseball.
Tom, and he has his dog here as well too. This is Madden. Now, why don't you tell the audience why you named your dog Madden?
Well, in 2016, we adopted Madden, and his name was Charlie at the adoption. So I said he does not look like a Charlie, but I'm a huge Cubs fan, so Madden just seemed right. We were in between Cubby and Madden. Okay. And Cubby has a special meaning for both me and my wife. We actually met at Cubby Bear North.
Oh, okay.
Which doesn't exist anymore. And then I love the Cubs. Well, we both love the Cubs. I'm a huge mama's boy. If anyone knows me, I'm a huge mama's boy. I love my mom. And she is a huge Cubs fan.
Okay. She
even still has her Ron Santo glove from when she was little.
Wow.
So she was a huge Ron Santo fan. And I just grew up always watching the Cubs. We'd be in the car listening to it on the radio. We'd be out in the pool listening to it on the radio, you know. And my mom is definitely the one that always got me into the Cubs first.
You know, one thing I like about baseball is the fact that it is a family sport.
Totally.
It's passed on from generation to generation.
Lots of history.
You know, and that's the reason why I think when the Cubs finally did win the World Series, it was so special, because there were grandparents, there were parents that were all crying, along with their kids.
Yeah.
I became a Cubs fan because my dad is a Cubs fan, so it was kind of in my blood. But I brought some of these lovely photos. When I was 6 years old, I was on a t-ball team, and my first team was the Cubs. I was so excited. I was one of 2 girls on this t-ball team, and I wanted to play no matter what. I had broken my arm halfway through the season, so I missed a couple of games, but as soon as I got my cast off, you can see I have my wrist brace on here. I was back in the game.
That looks like pretty good form there.
Well, thank you.
I went to a lot of Cubs and White Sox games growing up. My parents took me to both. My mom was a Cubs fan. My dad didn't really care about sports, and some of my friends were a little bit of both. But I mean, to be honest, the White Sox had a really good team in the early to mid 90s with Thomas and Ventura and Guillen. And during that strike season, and I believe it was 94, they could have went all the way that year. Them and the Expos were really good. So I've always rooted for them since then.
Yeah, and sometimes being the underdog is nice too. You don't want to root for the most popular teams.
Yeah, definitely. Like going on in middle school and high school, everyone was Cubs fans, and I was always happy to be Sox fans because there's not nearly enough of us, and we're always welcome to take more in. So
I was born and raised on the south side of Chicago.
Okay.
When I was younger, so I kind of want to stay with my roots a little bit too. South side just seems a little more authentic.
Sure.
And not like the in crowd or yuppieville is what I'd want to call them on the north side. So I kind of feel like it's for like the working man.
Sure. Yeah.
Being a White Sox fan,
Right.
you're not always popular in town, and you can go underneath the radar, but you can still be cool and have a good work ethic.
Growing up in this area, Mundelein, Libertyville, and being a little kid and coming home from school and nothing was on TV, I turned on WGN and I would watch baseball. And you know, I just started to follow it. My mom liked it, I liked it, and all my friends. After a while, it became a thing that we talked about. And so some of my favorite memories then are when I was a student at Hawthorne Junior High. We would go, that was our 8th grade trip, would be to go to the Cubs game.
Well, I think it's probably where we grew up. We grew up in Cicero, which is going to be closer to the south side. It's not necessarily far south side. It's a suburb of Chicago. But my dad also worked at Illinois Institute of Technology, which is right there on 35th. It's right by the White Sox Park. So the White Sox actually use their facilities for training. They have the old tarp on the baseball team from the old White Sox. My dad used to get the new Andy Frane ushers from there, and we get tickets behind me. So we just kind of naturally flocked to there.
Yeah, when I was growing up, I would say that our family tried to go to a Cubs game almost every year. You know, mom, dad, my brother, sometimes extended family. And the thing I loved about it was you could come to the Cubs game, enjoy, you could eat as much as you wanted. It did not matter. It was just kind of a fun family thing and just the atmosphere. So it was always something that we did together.
Nice. Do you have a favorite food whenever you were at the game?
To be honest, I love the soft pretzels.
Ooh.
And still to this day, I love those pretzels.
You ever tried the cotton candy? I've never tried it at Wrigley.
Oh, of course, the cotton candy. I mean, our family tradition is kind of like you try a different food every inning.
Okay.
So you have a hot dog one inning, you have cotton candy one inning, you have a pretzel another inning, you have ice cream. Just, you gorge yourself.
Sure.
It's fun.
It's really hard to go to a game and not eat, you know?
Absolutely.
2 games stick out. Burley's perfect game. It was on a Thursday, and I was actually supposed to go to that game, but my friend bailed on me at the last second, so I didn't. So I ended up watching the entire thing at home since I already had the day off work, and obviously he had an amazing game, and Wise had the crazy catch to seal that. And the other one was a play-in game in 08, I believe, versus the Twins.
Yeah.
And I actually was student teaching in Pekin, Illinois, and I left my teaching assignment a little bit early to get back to Normal, Illinois, where all my friends were from ISU. And then we traveled to the ballpark and watched that game, which they won 1-0 off a solo home run. And that was a blackout game. Everyone in the stadium wore black, and it was super awesome.
Very cool.
I was right here.
Okay.
I was right in my my living room. I was watching it with my mom, of course. My mom, Madden was a puppy. So I always call him my good luck pup because we got him in 2016. We got him in May of 2016. And I always call him my good luck pup because they won the World Series his first year of existence.
Wow.
So I told him he's very spoiled because we all had to wait a very long time before our first World Series.
So I bowl on Wednesday nights, and we actually had a vote as to whether or not we were going to cancel our entire league. The league voted to bowl, and we had the game on the whole time. And the league was over, the game was still going, and everyone kind of just filled into the bar. And we were in the bar hanging out. Really funny thing is the night before, I was wearing a different Cubs shirt, and I brought it with. Because I'm like, you know what, they're not doing well, I'm gonna go change. So I ran out to the car and I changed shirts once it went into, after the rain delay.
Yeah.
And so that's why they won.
So thank you to Lindsay for
you're
all the Cubs
welcome.
fans out there.
Welcome.
Because of this
Yes.
right here. So.
And so I was with, you know, all my bowling friends, and we just were jumping up and down and cheering, and shots were going around. And I am a non-drinker, but I did a shot. It is on camera. People caught me doing it. It was worth it.
Speaking of bowling, I just wanted to let the audience know, how many perfect games have you had?
I have actually had 6 perfect games.
6 perfect games. That's amazing.
So we did it in 4 games, so I don't know where I was for each game. And that last game, I do remember them doing it, but I don't know where I was. I might have been here at home. I mean, I don't know. It's a good question.
You know, it's weird because like
That I can't
we've
answer.
seen a lot of championships, you know, with the Bulls, with the Blackhawks. But I think that first one, the baseball one, was a really special one, just because, you know, it'd been forever since either the Cubs or the White Sox made it to the World Series.
And
like
it was
in
nice
our
that we
lifetime.
did it first, and I could like dangle that over the Cubs fans. Like, we got our White Sox with a World Series trophy. What about you guys? Because at that point in time, the Bulls had how many?
Yeah, they had 6
I remember the Bears doing it too, the Blackhawks doing it too. It's like, oh, here's a club right here, and you guys can't come in. But now they're like the little brother. They're finally in the club.
I was actually just watching it at my parents' place. We had some family over, and I enjoyed it there. I don't honestly remember them winning the World Series, but I know I watched it there. Like, the biggest moment I remember was Konerko's Grand Slam, and I believe it was Game 2. That's the one that really sticks out.
Do you remember Jeff Blum's extra
Yeah,
inning
that
home
was
run
in like
too?
the 14th inning. It's still the longest World Series game, may even be postseason game of all time. It was a great game. Blum came as the pinch hitter. He actually was on the Astros earlier in the season, and they traded him to the White Sox, and he hit a game-winning home run against them. So
I was at a bar with some friends earlier in the evening, and then I decided to go home and watch with my daughter.
Okay.
And then we're like, oh, we were on our way to Dick's Sporting Goods in Lake Zurich. I said, let's go get some t-shirts because they're winning. And then things started to change, okay? So I'm like, we got to turn around and go home because this is bad luck. We can't predict this. And I came home, I put on my Cubs pajamas, my Cubs blanket, tried to wash away all the, you know, I'm going to jinx the team if I do this because, you know, it's a very...
superstitious
yeah,
sport.
superstitious sport. And literally just sitting, biting my nails. And so when they won, I was screaming, I was crying. My daughter caught it on video, very embarrassing. I, you know, went viral. No, it didn't go viral. But it was a moment like, oh my gosh, I've waited my whole life for this.
We probably didn't think it was ever going to happen
No,
in our
yeah,
lifetime.
yeah.
You know? And then when it finally did, it's like a dream come true.
And I'm sure Dennis felt the same way. Not that year, but
The way the Sox won, which was different than the way the Cubs won, because the Cubs was drama all the way to Game 7. It was like extra innings and the whole thing. It was like, oh, more nerve-wracking. Where the Sox, it kind of was like almost felt like a done deal after I think the second game. It was like boom, boom. Yeah, it was just they dominated and that was it. And I think the last game, I don't even think I went to a bar, like a sports bar. I think I was actually at home watching that one. I was trying to think of that, like where was I at? And I think the last game I was actually at home and watched it like at home with my family and stuff. But it didn't have the same drama because, like I said, it was pretty dominant, you know.
Dominant.
More dominant win.
I would have
no drama.
I would have changed those 7 games for anything because it's
I'll
the perfect.
take the dominant win then.
No, it was the perfect
Complete games.
way.
Ozzie Guillen leaving pitchers finish the game. I mean, you don't see baseball like that anymore. It's like that's the last time you'll ever see
that was the last series, I think, that
Yep.
did that.